What is the CNN? I guess I can agree. Parliament in flames. A leader toppled. Nepal's Gen Z protesters ask, what comes next? This is big. Like, take a look at this. Take a look at what the Nepalese are doing right now. Like, they have forced these people to resign. Like, this is real. This is real. Right here. Wait. Read on. What are you saying? Which guy? I don't know what you guys are talking about. You hate me. This is real change. This is effective change. These are people that, as we all know, the Nepalese have, have a very corrupt government, a government that has been doing absolutely horrific shit to people for a long fucking time. And Gen Z, you know what? All of you guys give these young people such a hard time, and I give you guys a hard time for giving them a hard time. I say all the time, I believe in young people. I believe in the youth. I believe that young kids actually get a really bad reputation. I think that the Gen Z and below are going to make such a huge difference in this society, and this gives me hope. Seeing this right here. What began as a Gen Z-led social media movement, first of all, me and you and every other old person would give Gen Z people a hard time for being on social media. I'm one of those people, okay? Right there. Started on social media, guys. We wrong, okay? Against the lavish lifestyle of Nepo kids led to the ousting of a prime minister and the deadliest social unrest Nepal has seen in years. Now, mind you, protesters died. I think it was 19, 20 people were shot. Plumes of dark smoke towered above soldiers, enforcing a curfew on the quiet streets of Kathmandu Wednesday morning as rumors swirled about a possible meeting between the leaderless Gen Z movement, the army, and the president. An uneasy calm after 2 nights of chaos that saw tens of thousands of people pour out into the streets to vent their fury, setting fire to Parliament and the Supreme Court. I'm not allowed to advocate for any actions on this channel. I'm just going to say that sounded like a good plan. Setting fire to Parliament and the Supreme Court, key symbols of state, and clashing with the government forces sent to keep them under control. The unrest started in early September when a group of young Nepalese, fed up with seeing politicians' children posting about their designer handbags and luxury travel while most people struggle to make ends meet, organized a peaceful protest. This should all sound familiar. This should all sound familiar. I think that people do not really understand like the progression of what is going on right now in this country is, right? Like, this is where it's supposed to begin. Is you're supposed to see the oligarchs flaunting their wealth. You're supposed to see the people in authority being corrupt and doing these things to you. And that is supposed to evoke anger in you, because that is these are the cycles of humanity. It's the human condition. It's that people oftentimes forget that what you're happy with is not always what everyone else is happy with. And some people in our society, when given the chance to do so, take advantage of people like yourself, like myself, people that do not need to be wealthy, do not need to be in control of other human beings. And then we think, oh, why would that person do something like that? And until we see a person doing it, sometimes it doesn't have the impact that is necessary to create a movement like what we see right now. And these Nepalese, they did that. They said, this is unfair, and this is what Americans should be doing. We should be together saying that there shouldn't be children starving in this country while a man has $500 billion. There shouldn't be people in this country that have no health care. While there are people in our society that are legit buying up land to create their own cities. We should be enraged by something like the wealth gap, not because it is immoral to own or have more money than somebody else, but that it is immoral to have so much more resources than somebody else that it causes society to collapse upon itself. That's what should make you mad. I don't care how much money people have. I want to know what they do with it. I want to see positive outcomes. I want to see things get better for the people around me. I have a good life. Like I'm just like you. I'm always on the edge of losing everything I have due to one medical mishap. That's true. And there are things that I want in my life, like I would love better healthcare. I haven't been to a dentist in 20 years because I don't have the money to spend on that kind of thing. I haven't, I go to the doctor because I'm old enough now that I worry about colon cancer. But the day that I find out that I have colon cancer, everything falls, right? I lose the time at work. I have a home, but I can lose that home. But what I really care about is seeing other people taken care of. What I really care about is not having to constantly read about children in our society not being taken care of. Like, the happier society is, the better my life is. And if my life is good now, I can only imagine how much better it would be if the people around me also were doing well. And like I said, that's an Aristotle thing. That is the idea that optimal happiness for society should be the ruling law of government, right? So anyways, I'm just saying the Nepalese have followed this path, this cycle, right? They've seen the oligarchs. It pissed them off. And now anger had been brewing for years about the country's worsening youth unemployment crisis and lack of economic opportunities, exacerbated but by what many viewed as a growing disparity between the country's elite and regular people. Like I said, this should all sound familiar. Word quickly spread in the Himalayan country of 30 million. Then a government ban last week on more than 24 social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, added fuel to the fire. So why did they ban WhatsApp? Why did they ban Facebook? And why did they ban Instagram? Because they began this movement on social media. Because the best way to keep people from doing something like overthrowing a corrupt government is to keep them from banding together. Unfortunately, here in America, social media has had actually the opposite effect. And I think a huge part of that is because of the way that we have instituted capitalism as the state religion. And that is, when you incentivize people on Twitter to divide people, then they are going to do that. And they are going to make it the main reason that they are on that social media platform. I can speak to this. I'm up here. I don't think I'm that much better than any other human being. In fact, I know that oftentimes I say things that people probably find extremely offensive. I think that sometimes my opinions on things are probably not what like a really good human being would have. But I know that there's lines that I'm not willing to cross, and those lines oftentimes are lines where I feel like I'm taking advantage of people for monetary gain. It's just, for me, it doesn't feel right. The buildup to frustration was what led to this movement. Sarisha, oh God, why do you have to have names? Like, I can't, I'm from the trailer park. Sarisha said, Sarisha, that's in my wheelhouse, all right? That's like Shanetta, Shoquina. I can do that. Sarisha, who attended the protests, told CNN, describing the social media bans as the last straw. That's amazing, to be honest with you. I'm glad that they chose that time, because imagine if they had banned social media and people just went, well, fuck, it's over. The unemployment rate for youth aged 15 to 24 in Nepal was 20.8% in 2024. That's insane. 1 in 5 young people, according to the World Bank, forcing many young people to move abroad to find work. More than a third of Nepal's GDP came from personal remittances, according to the World Bank, a number that has steadily risen over the past 3 decades. Social media is the only platform where we can talk and share and follow the global media, said Praman, a filmmaker in Nepal who attended the protests. Most of our friends, our families, our brothers are outside the country, so that was the medium of communication. So actually, okay, so I'm learning about this along with you guys, right? Okay, so I see like the connections of why also social media is very important to be able to communicate with people outside of the country. On Monday morning, thousands of young people, including many dressed in school uniforms, gathered at that place, Mandala, a monument in the heart of Kathmandu near the federal parliament building. But the protests quickly spiraled out of control when some of the protesters surged toward Parliament building and began climbing up the gate, clashing with police. Police used live ammunition, water cannons, and tear gas against protesters, according to Reuters news agency. You just have to, Maddie, you just came in at the right time. Thank you for being here for that. I don't know how long you've been here, but I just saw your comment. You came in at the right time. Live ammunition. How do Americans respond to live ammunition used against their own population? Like, that's the real question, right? Like, that's where we're at. We're on the border of it. We're borderline right now. How do we react to live ammunition used on protesters? I mean, I know how I would react. The question is could we do it in a way where we have solidarity? Like, could we, the American people, the blue collar, working class, middle class Americans that are most affected by these things, that are most capable of fighting against these things, could we do what these Nepalese young people did? That's a real question, and I don't know the answer to that because, unfortunately, I think I want to be very pessimistic about what the answer to that would be. Nearly 19 people were killed. I thought it was 19 people wounded. Nearly 19 people were killed and hundreds were wounded in the clashes Monday, according to Nepali authorities. We all felt very hopeless and helpless at that point. Shrestha, oh, fuck me. That lady said. Several government ministers, including the Home Minister, resigned in the wake of the violence, which sparked widespread outrage both within Nepal and internationally. On Tuesday, the protests ballooned as people of all ages defied curfews and came out in the streets to protest the government's bloody crackdown. Gen Z demanded accountability and fair investigation for this corruption, the luxury lifestyle of all these corrupted politicians' kids. Shri Gorung, who went to the protests after seeing reports that young people were being killed. But unfortunately, what we saw was the government using excessive force and murdering these youths. From there, the unrest escalated. Protesters smashed windows and looted local businesses and set government buildings on fire. Now, this would be the place where so many people in this country would be manipulated by the media to say, oh, there they go again. There's those black people. There's those LGBT people. There's those minorities. They're looting and pillaging and destroying communities, and literally the blue-collar working class would once again turn on itself. Again. Protesters smashed windows and looted local businesses and set government buildings on fire. The country's main international airport reopened on Wednesday after being shut for 24 hours because of the violence. The Supreme Court and the Singha Durbar, a sprawling palace complex in Kathmandu with houses in Nepal's government ministries, were both set on fire. Photos showed protesters standing upon Singha Durbar, waving the Nepali flag in scenes reminiscent of a student-led uprising that toppled a government in neighboring Bangladesh last year. I mean, just look at those pictures, man. So they got the guy to step down. They got what they wanted, but they didn't do it without a cost, right? Like, we have to understand that there potentially is going to be a real cost for every single one of us. But the question, is do we do it to ourselves, or do we fight against them and show that these people are willing to do whatever to hold on to the power that they have? Like, I think that there's a real problem with America, and that problem is the entitlement, the American exceptionalism, the wedge that has been driven between all of us because capitalism has taught us that it's not a team game, it's an individual's game, and that anything that anybody else has means that's something that you don't have, and you should work hard to take that from them. And that literally creates an atmosphere where we can never actually get together and work in any type of tandem, right? Like I said, even on the left, when you talk about the left, there's so much infighting about what is the priority or what should be like the boundaries that we use as guardrails for our movement, keeps us from being able to work together. And that's a real issue. We need to start to understand what the goal is. What is the optimal priorities of getting what we think is best for society, and then we need to start working towards those things. The Nepalese don't have the problem, or I'm sorry, the Nepalese do not have the problem of entitlement. We do. What we have a problem with is we are entitled, we are spoiled. We would rather sit at home and watch Netflix than protest. We would rather sit at home and know that things are bad for others than attempt to do something about them. We would rather stay within our comfort zones rather than speak to somebody that may disagree with us. And the Nepalese don't get to have that. That's not something that's not a privilege for them. And I think that Americans need to remember that. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and check out that video on the screen now.